Welcome to another episode of Pit Lane Parley. And welcome to another episode of Pit Lane Parley. This is Matt Hickey, joined with host Mike and Jess Baker. Guys, how we doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there.
I am better since you just did that.
Well, that's the goal. Laughs and smiles. Am I right? This week, we are going to run through some topics here. We're going to start with another schedule update. As we've been saying the last couple of weeks, obviously, this is a very fluid situation, so things are constantly changing. Again, if you go to www.indycar.com/2020/schedule updates, they got you covered as far as the updates in very good detail. We'll do a quick rundown of what has changed with this latest update that came out yesterday, Monday. Detroit has been canceled / postponed / who actually knows at this point. They were talking about October earlier in the day, but then when they came out, IndyCar said it was canceled. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see on that one. The interesting tidbit is that Iowa, Laguna Seca, and the Grand Prix of Indy have all moved to double headers. The Grand Prix of Indies, though, will be split. So they do still have the July 4th race, and then there is the Harvest Grand Prix in October, is what they're calling it. So we do get two races at Iowa and Laguna Seca in the same weekend. So that's really cool. And then, like I said, no more Detroit. So, guys, what are your overall thoughts about the latest update to the schedule?
Man, I don't even know what to think anymore. Kind of touched on that last week. I'm hopeful that this all works out. I'm looking forward to having a race very close to my birthday now and in Indy. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I think the double headers are pretty cool. I think the Harvest Festival is kind of a throwback to the 1916 fall race series in Indy. I think it was. They had 3 races in the fall there. It was called the Harvest Grand Prix. It's a pretty cool kind of throwback to the history of Indy that not a lot of people know about. But yeah, like Jess said, things are probably changing, and hopefully this is the last change. But either way, I applaud Roger Penske and Jay Fry and Mark Miles and whoever else has the difficulty of having to rearrange a schedule as things change here. They've done a great job in communicating that with the teams and the media and everybody out there. So they are making the best of a difficult situation right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. And to kind of echo what you are saying, I think fans at home have actually been really good about the changes, very receptive. Obviously, there isn't really a playbook to go off of for this kind of situation. It's something that we're all kind of adapting to and kind of learning on the fly of how to handle, how to reschedule, things like that. So I think they're making the best of a bad situation. I'm a little skeptical about Texas, if I'm not being honest, but fingers crossed we can get there and get a race on and show some good racing to the fans out there who've been really patient. Iowa, that's going to be really cool. And that's kind of leading into my next question here. Which doubleheader out of the 3 are you guys looking forward to the most?
Definitely Iowa. Twin 150 lap races at 9 p.m. Eastern every night. So this year, everybody will have their wish that it is a true night race. A, and B, twin 150 lap races should be really, really fun.
I'm so torn because I'm really looking forward to Indy, obviously, because it's in my backyard. But I'm also looking forward to Laguna because I loved that track. So I'm going to pick Indy. I think it's going to be really fun to see something going on in October here and see what they come up with for, weekend entertainment that weekend.
I'm going to agree with Mike on this one and say Iowa just because I'm never going to be opposed to more oval racing. And while this is an artificial way to inflate that, it's still really cool. And to that end, I'm curious to see if it sticks for the future per se. Like, we haven't had 3 doubleheaders in a season since 2014. Toronto, Houston, and Detroit, maybe. Might have to do some research on that one. But, yeah, I mean, I was opposed to 3 doubleheaders back in the day, but now obviously it's a little different times. So I think, again, they're making the best of the bad situation, and it's cool to see these races come up in kind of a full-ish schedule. On the flip side, though, is now we're without St. Pete, which may be coming back in a later date around October or so. And then Barber, Circuit of the Americas, Detroit, and Long Beach have all been canceled. Of those 5 races, is there one that you guys would love to see maybe get a doubleheader in the future to kind of make up for lost time?
St. Pete, 100%. That is strictly because the atmosphere is already electric. So if you added another race in, the fans there would just, I think, flip out in the best possible way. So I'm going to go St. Pete.
Well, first off, Matt, you were correct. It was 2014 that had Detroit, Toronto, and Houston. That was also the year that Carlos Huertas won a race. So that's probably not 3 doubleheaders in a season anymore, because they were like, this is getting too weird. But
And Dalton Kellett has a chance, is what you're saying.
I think anybody has a chance this year, Matt. This is the year of positivity.
What?
Right now, technically, in the iRacing world, AJ Foyt Racing is the 5th ranked team. I know that means nothing, but I'm just going to leave it there. Doubleheader I'm looking forward to the most. In order to not agree with Jess, I'm going to say Long Beach. I haven't gotten to get out there yet. And so if I could get it though for 2 races in a weekend, there's lots of things to do at the track there from everything I've heard. There's lots of people that go there. It's a big party atmosphere all weekend. So I would definitely love to extend that for an extra day.
Yeah, there goes my answer. I was just thinking of a tip of the hat to the loyal fans out there who make that race very cool every year. To give them 2 races next year as like a thank you for your support would be really cool. Not to say that the other tracks don't have the same fan base, but Long Beach is huge. So just to not agree with you, I would go with Circuit of the Americas, because that would mean they're still open and in business, which would be fantastic. And B, because out of those 5, I do believe it put on the best race last year. So I think if we could get 2 of those kind of races and have 2 really good shows, that'd be excellent.
Very well said there. So we will move on to what I just touched about. The iRacing Challenge wrapped up at Barber Motorsports Speedway this weekend, which saw. Well, let's start with our predictions first. Let's get this out of the way because it's ugly.
Well, speak for yourself on that one.
Exactly. I'm gonna find my boo button here. Here we go.
Did you just boo yourself?
I did.
Oh boy.
So I picked Sage Karam, which was looking very good until he had an incident about 2/3 of the way through the race and finished 27th. Matt, you picked Felix Rosenquist. He finished 6th. And Jess picked Robbie Wickens, who had a triumphant 8th place finish. And because he qualified last and had such an amazing drive, I'm going to give Jess the win on this one.
Yes.
Sorry,
I love it when I win.
I'm going to go with the result and just say that even though Robert Wickens' race was inspirational, Felix did finish 6th.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take the win that Mike's giving me.
He doesn't get to decide these things. He would probably decide that he's the winner because Sage led half the race.
He booed himself.
Yeah. Give me a little bit of a break here. I admit that I am not good at making these predictions because whoever I predict from Michigan this week is destined to finish in last place. Sorry.
We have to do that too, don't we? Oh gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, real quick. So Scott McLaughlin won off of a great strategy call. Will Power was 2nd, and iRacing legend Scott Speed was in 3rd place. So very, it was an interesting race. It was cool to see it on NBC and have Lee Diffie and co on there. I don't know if you guys had any thoughts about the race. If anybody caught the Road to Indy edition, which was again won by Philip Dines, who is actually an Indy Pro 2000, not USF. So I'm sorry that I messed that up last week.
Can you elaborate on just for the folks at home who don't understand the reference of the Scott Speed iRacing legend?
So Scott Speed was banned from iRacing for I don't know how long, because it's been years since I have iRaced myself. I haven't done it since 2015 or 2016, but for intentionally wrecking people, and the evidence, I'm sure it's on YouTube, is pretty blatant. So it's kind of, I mean, and listen, he's very good at it. He finished third, and he was in line for a good finish the first race before at Watkins Glen before he crashed. But yeah, that's my only reference there. It seems like a very interesting guy, but and Jess is looking at me like, yep.
The race was cool, but I think one thing I learned this week is that you get a much different perspective watching the drivers' Twitch streams versus watching the broadcast version. This week it was on NBC Sports. Last week it was on YouTube and INDYCAR.com. But you get a lot of different perspective. Like, I don't believe on the broadcast they even showed that Sage crashed. Versus, I believe Mike and I were watching at the time it happened that he wrecked. Because I remember Paul Tracy just saying, "Oh, looks like Karam's out." You also get the driver chatter on some of the Twitch streams, so the drivers can communicate with over like a radio that they all can hear, and some of it is just gold. Willpower actually got banned from the chat for saying some not so nice things, and other drivers, were kind of like, get out of the way. What are you doing? Like, aren't you a lap down? Things like that. So I think if you didn't get a chance to catch out a Twitch stream, like Connor Daly has a good one, Scott McLaughlin had one, Sage Karam, Joseph Newgarden has one. Am I missing any of the big ones?
Alex Palou and Ferrucci also have one as well. Ferrucci's is usually pretty good. Palou was very quiet, but it was nice because you could hear Willpower saying mean things to people.
So still not sold on the iRacing thing. Like I said last week, I don't think it's an accurate reflection of how the race would actually go. But, it is, again, like I said last week, something to watch. And I think going to an oval like Michigan is going to be fantastic.
So with that being said, we're going to make our Michigan predictions without knowing the exact entry list, other than the fact that Scott Speed, unfortunately, looks like he will not be racing because Marco Andretti is racing thanks to Sage Karam's backup rig. So with that being said, who are your guys' winner? Or if you want to make a crazy prediction, go right ahead and have some fun with this.
Can I make a crazy prediction? Because Dale Jr. has asked for an invite to join because he really wants to race Michigan. So I'm just going to say Dale Jr. is going to come in and do really well.
See, all you did there was that Dale Jr. is not going to get invited, and Mike's going to give you the win next week.
I will take it.
Okay. I am going to go with Marco Andretti. Why not? I mean, it is going to be a mess. It's basically going to be who can outlast who. And I think, given his 5 days of practice, that Marco Andretti is going to be well suited for the race. So I'm going with Marco.
All right, I like it. I like the positivity there. I am going to go with the man who has podiumed both races so far, and the wanker himself in Will Power. He's done very well. He is very determined, logging a ton of practice laps. Won the Indy 250 on Friday night as part of the Elite Racing League's challenge. So he's definitely got the oval racing down on iRacing. And how can you really count Willpower out in anything?
How many? Do you want to know how many laps it's going to be?
I have no idea.
I was going to say, how many of those are going to be run under green?
60%.
I was thinking
12.
more like
I don't know how many laps it is, but my answer is 12.
45%. This, I don't know. We get a lot of. Well, I guess we haven't been getting cautions at places at the road courses, so I guess I don't know how ovals work on iRacing, but we'll tune in because it'll be a lot of fun. It should be the track that should have won instead of Watkins Glen for that vote. I think the fans let us down there. But moving on, speaking of e-racing, we actually have a quick shout out to the e-races that we put on through gaming consoles. So the Xbox League, we just finished our 4th race last night, and Jake Neely took home his first win of the season. So congrats to Jake. I was 2nd, and Dash Stig was 3rd. So good job to Matt on his 3rd place result. It was kind of a mess. We had 2 safety cars, 3 virtual safety cars. I think every single car got damaged on the first lap, but we were up to 12 entries, so that's pretty cool. So I appreciate the participation from everybody. Mike is hosting the PS4 race tomorrow. By the time you're listening to this, this will have passed. So check our Twitter for the results. They actually did 2 races last week, and they are racing at China this week. And that is on Wednesdays. So if by the time you're listening to this and you want to get in on that, just message Mike and he will hook you up. Mike, who won the first 2 races of your guys' league?
Not to brag, but I did, and very handily, especially the second race, I think.
That is very braggy of you. Does it make you feel at all bad that the first non-Pit Lane Parley host to win one of these was Jake Neely?
No, I'm happy for Jake. Jake's one of my best friends, and I wish him nothing but the best in every single race he does. I actually hope he wins every Xbox race ever for the rest of time.
Is that just because I'm in the league?
Yes.
Well, can you explain to the viewers what predicament you were going through before the race as far as if you should watch my Twitch stream or Christian Stanevsky's Twitch stream?
So everybody knows every time I make a prediction, the person finishes in last place or has some ridiculous mechanical issue with 3 laps to go on their last pit stop. So I didn't know who I wanted to jinx. And I really wanted to watch Christian's stream. Christian's a good friend, and I thought it would be fun to watch somebody other than Matt, but I didn't want to jinx Christian, so I watched Matt. I don't know if I jinxed him because he still finished in second, but yeah, that was my pre-race predicament.
Well, I did get into 4 crashes, so there had to be some sort of bad luck my way last night or something. But yeah, it was fun. If you want to get any information or interested in joining the Xbox League, just give me a message at Hickey93. And if you'd like to learn more about the PS4 League, message Mike Jokum on Twitter, and he can help you out.
Yeah. So real quick before we get to Team Pit Lane shoutouts and the Joker Lab, just wanted to shout out to some of the recent interview guests that we've had on. Bill Mullen from Wayne Taylor Racing was really fun to talk to. That came out on Monday. I talked to Alex Pillow last week, which came out on Saturday, and he was really cool to talk to. I really enjoyed talking to Alex at Delcoin Racing. AJ Muss in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series, which is also on YouTube. Not only is AJ a race car driver, but he's an Olympic snowboarder. So I don't think it gets much more badass than that. He was a very nice guy to talk to. And last but not least, Santi Urrutia, which came out on Wednesday. I talked to about the Indy Lights season and his experience in the Europe TCR cars last year, which was very fun. So quick Team Pit Lane shout outs before we move on here. Thank you to Stephen Clark. Thank you to my pal Frenchie. And thank you to Carrie Chim. And with that,
All right, guys. So we all are bored. We all know we're bored. The whole world is bored right now. So instead of doing a traditional Joker Lab question, I'm going to challenge these guys to do something on video for y'all. We've been doing some discussions of like marshmallows in the mouth or things of this nature. We don't have an exact science down to this yet, but we are going to start a little challenge and we want you all to be able to watch us. So, oh, and by the way, I didn't tell the guys. So if you could see their faces.
Nope. No idea what's happening. Help.
So I am going to challenge them to some entertainment for you all. We will start this very quickly. Hopefully you will see it, I don't know, Friday afternoon or Saturday sometime. That gives us a couple days to throw something together and record it and get it out there for you guys. But hopefully we will do something fun, I don't know, weekly or something to give you guys some more content and give you something to watch. So no actual question today, but I'm going to challenge you guys for the foreseeable future to beat me at whatever it is we're doing.
I have a question since you don't have one.
Go ahead.
Are you partaking in this with us? Are you
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I thought we were just...
I'm going to beat you both on whatever it is we're doing. Especially if we're trying to put things in our mouth, because I have a very large mouth. I don't know if you knew that or not, but like giant. So I'm gonna win that challenge for sure. I don't know what else we're gonna be doing, but if I don't have marshmallows, and both Matt and I don't like marshmallows, so probably won't be marshmallows, but something. We'll figure out some sort of food.
All right, just to be clear, you are going to beat us at a random thing that you don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Okay, I'm just making sure we got that clear and understood.
Yeah, so good times. But it was good. I really wish you all could have seen their faces, because I'm pretty sure they were both absolutely terrified that I was going to make them start recording this on video right now.
I think I just sweat through my sweatshirt out of pure fear.
We will get this started though ASAP. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully Friday afternoon, after you guys get home from work, or if you're not working currently, later in the afternoon after our episode comes out, or Saturday. That way we do have a couple days to throw this together and get something recorded, because y'all need some entertainment, and so do we. And we're going to be just as entertained as you are, if not more, doing this. So that'll be fun. And then next, we have the game that Host created last week, where I'm going to give you 3 facts about a driver who has driven in the IndyCar series in the last 5 years. And you guys have to guess who it is. So good luck. I did not make this an easy one, by the way, because you all know I never make anything easy. So the first fact is he was born in Boca Raton, Florida. He is a 3rd-generation driver, and he was on the podium 67.4% of his races in the current series that he's running, which, by the way, is not IndyCar. So I will give you an extra clue there.
I hate you.
I know. Do you want another clue? I'll give you another clue, because I saw this and it stuck with me.
We need like 13 clues.
He has dual citizenship, both in the United States and Australia.
Is it James Davison?
Nope.
Oh,
The
he's not
whole
racing all the time.
I mean, I don't know if she was like making an obscure iRacing reference.
Negative. No iRacing. You know my feelings on iRacing. Come on, man.
They're all warm and fuzzy, right?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, no. Okay, so he guessed. So, host Mike, your guess.
Scott Speed.
Has he driven an IndyCar in the last 5 years? Has he driven an IndyCar ever other than his one DNQ?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he is not, and he does not have dual citizenship. He is from. Give me a minute. Hold on. It's in California. I can't remember the city name. But he's from California. He does not have a dual citizenship, and I bet he's been on more podiums than 67.4%. Well, I don't know, though, because he broke his back, so maybe not. I'd have to do the math, but that's if actual races started, by the way. Should I give you the series that it's in? Would that help you guys?
Probably.
Yeah, probably not, but
Stadium Super Trucks.
Matthew Brabham.
Yeah.
So do I win that one? Because I guessed it sort of first.
I think
Nobody wins. We got like 8 hints.
Nobody wins.
That fair. You guys did get a bunch of hints, but you both spit it out at the exact same time. So I'm going to call it a tie.
We're both losers, and that's not just about this game.
That is also
I
accurate.
was about to jump in and say that if this whole like video thing is happening, that means you're like gonna have to shower for the first time in 19 days.
Me?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
No, Mike.
Oh, I was like, I'm still going to work, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Mike and I look less than presentable at the moment, we'll say.
I haven't looked presentable in months.
I did want to give a shout out to Matthew Brabham, though, on 67.4% podiums in his current series. Like, that's impressive. I think he's won 19, and he's been on 60 podiums out of 89 races. It's pretty impressive.
All right. Well done, Maddie. I hope someday we see him again in IndyCar. He had an amazing Indy Lights career in USF 2000 and Pro Mazda or whatever it was called back then. But nonetheless, Jess, that was very difficult. I am sort of mad at you, but very well done.
You knew I was going to come up with obscure facts. Like, that's just what I do.
So we will move into our rebranded pitfalls. I gave it a name this week called the 3 Stars of the Week. So we will just, yeah, I know. I came up with it at 4 in the morning last night when I couldn't sleep. But it will have fancy music, maybe at some point in the next week or so. With that being said, I will start it off here. Continuing on, I found an article on racer.com about IMSA teams and ways they've been helping the COVID-19 crisis. And Lamborghini has been 3D printing face shields and making face masks for healthcare workers and other frontline workers who have to be out and about in the field every day. So really cool. There's a whole article about all of the different IMSA teams and what they're doing. Maybe I'll pick another one of them for this segment next week.
Mine's super similar, so I'll go next. Dallara is using their machines that they usually cut carbon fiber with to cut pieces of fabric to make basically, I don't know, hospital gown type gowns that are, I can't remember who is sewing them. A local company also here in Indy is sewing the gowns together for hospitals and I believe like nursing home facilities, but glad that Dallara is using the machines they have to try to help.
And mine is going to Robert Wickens. Despite my protestation about Mike giving Jess the win about the predictions, I am sincerely impressed with Wickens and his race that he ran, and I've seen the video online of his controls and how he has a lever for braking and how his gas is underneath the left paddle shifter, and I could never, there's no way I could ever be able to do that. It's insanely impressive watching him and seeing what he does. So kudos to him. Great race, and then a shout out to everybody who helped make it possible for him to get a simulator set up. And I know his other steering wheel is on its way from Max Pappas and company. So hopefully Robert keeps it up. Hopefully it was uplifting for him because it was really uplifting for all of us to see him back behind the wheel.
Yeah, it was really cool. Seeing that handbrake was mega impressive. But yeah, great job, Robbie, and everybody involved in that whole everything coming together in a very quick amount of time. So guys, that is it for the week. Unless we have anything else, everybody stay safe, and Jess, go ahead and you can sign us off.
And guys, keep your lug nuts tight.